Weathering the storm on WCIA 3.
Hello and welcome to Weathering the Storm. I'm Chief Meteorologist Kevin Lighting, joined with Jack Gerfin, Amelia Henderson, and Jacob Dickey.
During this 30-minute weather special, we're going to talk about when central Illinois is most likely going to see a tornado, as well as what you should do in case one is bearing down on you and where you should go.
And we'll also take a look back at the hailstorm that caused millions in damage around central Illinois and how the Weather Service goes about issuing warnings for these types of severe weather events.
Plus, have you thought about your pets during severe weather? We'll take a look at some things you can do to keep your pets calm and safe when thunderstorms approach. And we're going to take a look at some weather folklore. Is it myth or fact?
And we come to you here standing in Meadowbrook Park, where almost to the day, 25 years ago, an F3 tornado ripped right through here, went into Urbana, causing extensive damage. And for one family who survived that tornado, it would make them rethink how they get notified about severe weather.
Well, that is a tornado.
April 19th, 1996. A tornado just ripped through the south side of Urbana, damaging hundreds of homes.
I just was thankful that my boys are fine, because we can rebuild.
Kathy Shewitt survived the terrifying twister.
It sounded like a file cabinet hitting the wall. And that was it. That was all there was, and it was real quick.
Flash forward 25 years later, and Kathy still describes it the same as she did in 1996.
It sounded like one of the file cabinets from his office hit the wall.
That day is still Illinois' largest tornado outbreak on record. Luckily, Kathy's husband was paying attention to the weather that day.
He came to me and said, "You need to get the kids and go to the basement."
Taking her husband's advice, she grabbed the kids and went for cover.
My older son said I was yelling for my husband to get down. I was yelling, "Get down, get down, get down." And so he just closed the basement door and got down a few steps, and it hit.
The house took a direct hit from the F3 tornado, leaving damage everywhere.
I remember you called 911, and I remember he said, "I think we've been hit by a tornado."
Alive, but in shock of what just happened, the Shewitts were left to pick up the pieces.
He said, "We'll be okay. We can rebuild, and we'll take care. We'll be okay."
But knowing severe weather season was just beginning, they wanted to be even better prepared for next time. So they got a Noaa Weather Alert radio.
Since we had that experience, it was a piece of equipment that we thought that, you just have to have.
That Noaa Weather Alert radio would work great for the Shewitts for many years to come. But instead of hearing this,
Doppler radar indicated a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado.
the Shewitts and, well, the rest of Champaign County both would hear nothing but this for the past 14 months. But the question is, why?
Yeah, Kevin, I'd like to know why my signal has been down for so long.
You and me both. Well, that's why we started doing a little bit of digging. The Lincoln National Weather Service office operates 9 different weather radio transmitters, but the one for Champaign County has been down since early 2020.
It was more than just, we had a cable that needed to be replaced.
Ongoing tower issues at the previous location forced Chris Miller and his team at the Lincoln Weather Service office to find a new spot to broadcast from.
We were on the sidelines waiting for whether it was higher ups with Weather Service headquarters or Noaa, and especially the owners of the tower and towers that we had talked to come to some kind of an agreement.
We wanted more answers, so we launched a Target 3 investigation and went to Congressman Rodney Davis, who later sent a letter to the very top of Noaa, urging them to help bring this matter to a close.
Twice the deals fell through. Tower owner, just before the end of 2019, right during the holiday season, pulled out from the deal. Late fall of 2020 then, when we were expecting to go back on the air, that the second attempt had failed and that we needed to start the process all over again.
Noaa needed a tower to broadcast its signal from. Well, that's where WCIA stepped in. We thought to ourselves, you know what? We might have something that'll work. Behind me here is our 1,000-foot broadcast tower. It's the same tower that gets you your TV signal at home. Well, back in March, we made an agreement with Noaa to allow them to house their Noaa Weather Radio transmitter on this tower, which is going to be broadcasting life-saving weather information for many years to come.
The third attempt, working with WCIA and Nexstar was huge.
And we're happy to say the tower crews will be installing equipment on our tower very soon, allowing for the signal to return this severe weather season.
The bottom line is we all have the same mission, and the mission is we want to help protect lives and property, and we want to get that information out there in as many different formats as possible so that people can ultimately stay safe.
And as for the Schuetts,
You really have to prepare, you really have to be ready, you really have to take warning seriously.
You know, pay attention. It's because I didn't think it could happen, and it can.
When your local meteorologists issue a severe weather warning or tornado warning, many are left with only minutes to find a safe location in their homes. It's always best to have a plan before severe weather strikes.
But I have a plan for my family so that we're prepared, it's already there. So if a warning goes off from the FEMA app, I'm all ready to go.
Some people are interested in seeing storms firsthand. However, one place you never want to go when a warning is issued is outside or by windows.
There's people in the community who they're interested in the storm, and so they hear the alert, they want to go outside, they want to see what's going on. We caution those people that go take cover, take the warning seriously, and do not go outside.
Before heading to a safe location in your home, there are a few things you should bring with you. Those include bottles of water, a phone charger, a flashlight, batteries, and of course, pillows and blankets. After you have all your supplies, next you'll need to head to the safest location in your home.
The most important thing is to get to an interior room on the lowest level. So get into, if you have a basement, if not a crawl space, and if not, somewhere where there's no windows in the inside of the house.
And if you don't have a basement, your next best option is an interior room without any windows, or of course, a bathroom. Now the bathroom is always a great option, not only because of the piping, but also the tiles add more strength to the walls around you. Now the next thing you need to do is grab your pillows, your blankets, pop them in the tub. Of course, don't forget your pets. Have my dog here, and then all you have to do is hop in the tub.
all right, guys, welcome in here. Won't make you guys sit through the commercials here online and get a little bit of behind the scenes here, and we will get you back to the show coming up here in just a moment. Many of you watching here on the live stream, we appreciate you tuning in here to our special. We're going to get you back. We have several more segments coming up, several more stories, but just wanted to jump in here and see what you guys thought so far of the show. Of course, the Noaa Weather Radio transmitter site coming back online is amazing. We are very excited to get that up here probably in the next month. We should be able to have that thing up and running. All they got to do is get up there and start installing the equipment. All the paperwork, all the hoops we had to jump through with the government are all good. So we're really looking forward to getting that up and running. Of course, then Amelia there talking about how to stay safe. We've got some other great stuff coming up here in the next 22 minutes of the show. So I encourage you guys to stick around, and we'll be popping in and out here during the commercial breaks. I'm reading some of your guys' comments. Bill, absolutely, we're glad, happy to help people. That's what we do to keep them safe. Bill there congratulating us. We appreciate that, Bill. Here's the thing. We're going to be jumping back on here to the show. So just stand by. We're going to get you right back to Weathering the Storm, our 30-minute severe weather special that helps keep you and your family safe. We got some good stuff coming up. There's some new warnings the Weather Service is going to be issuing, and we're going to be explaining exactly what all of that is and what that means for you. So that is coming up here momentarily as well. So stand by. We're going to get you back to the show here in just a moment. Again, thanks for tuning in here to Weathering the Storm, our 30-minute severe weather special. I'm going to go ahead and switch things back so you don't miss any of the show. We'll see you here in a second.
WCIA 3.
We spend a lot of time talking about tornado warnings, but we still need to respect the threat that severe thunderstorms can bring, including large hail. Central Illinois learned that last year on July 11th.
July 11th of 2020, we had a major hailstorm come through. kind of down the corridor of I-74.
For State Farm agent Greg Kurtenbaugh and insurance agents across the region, 2020 was a busy year for hail claims.
State Farm last year paid out about $375 million just in claims for hail last year, which ranks second out of all states in the United States, Texas being number one.
While hailstorms are costly, there are things you can do ahead of time to be prepared.
Before that storm hits, months before, weeks before, meet with your insurance agent. Just make sure you understand the coverages you have. Make sure you understand what deductibles you're responsible for. Make sure you have the coverages that you need.
After the storm, you'll work with contractors just like this to repair any damage to your property. But there are some things you should be aware about.
If you're looking for contractors, it's important to get somebody you trust and somebody you know. Ask for referrals. Always get 2 or 3 estimates when you're getting any work done. There's some fraud out there with contractors. Storm chasers come in, is what we call them. They'll climb up on your roof without asking, or they'll knock on your door and say you've got hail damage, whether you do or whether you don't. Never pay for the work up front. That's just good advice. So make sure the work is completed and you're satisfied with it. Ask if there's warranties with it. Those are all things you can do when you're picking out a contractor to make sure your roof is completed and done correctly.
Remember, you can always check with your insurance agent first on how to make repairs to your property before the contractor begins.
Tornadoes can occur at any point of the year, but there are some key periods where they're actually a little bit higher likelihood to occur. And that includes the month of April, the top spot there, 583 on average, followed closely behind with the months of May and June. But we can even look at the specific part of the day that a tornado is likely to occur. Based upon the hour here, notice how things ramp up in the afternoon, with the peak time being at around 5 p.m. Now, how about where in central Illinois are tornadoes most likely? Well, here's the thing. They have occurred in every single county. Each one of these lines is actually representing a tornado track that has occurred since 1950. No place left unscathed, so you always have to be prepared during severe weather season.
If you happen to be caught outside during a lightning storm with no available shelter nearby, the following actions can help reduce your risks. Never lie flat on the ground. Crouch down in a ball-like position with your hands tucked and hands over your ears so that you are down low with minimal contact to the ground. If you're caught on an elevated surface such as a hill, a mountain, or even ridges, you want to immediately get to lower ground. And never take shelter under an isolated tree because they can easily be struck by lightning and catch on fire. Immediately get out of and away from lakes, ponds, and any other bodies of water. And lastly, stay away from objects that conduct electricity, such as barbed wire, fences, and power lines.
We've had weather lore and sayings for generations, but where did they come from? What do they mean? And most importantly, are they even accurate? We're going to look at just one of them today. The red skies at night, sailors delight. Red skies in the morning, sailors take warning. That's by far the most common one. It's the most well-known. It's actually been around for a long time. It's in fact recorded in the book of Matthew in the Bible. So it's definitely the most well-known one. So we'll talk about that with its 2 portions of it, the red sky at night and the red sky in the morning. We'll start off though with red sky at night, sailors delight. Everything with our atmosphere in the northern hemisphere generally moves from the west to the east. So as we look off to the west, you can see that there's an area of high pressure over there. And as we go towards sunset looking west, you can see that we've got the nice red sky there. So that's going to be the delight portion of it. The meaning of that is due to the fact that we've got the sun going through a thicker portion of the atmosphere during sunset. So it's not coming straight down anymore. It's why you lose a lot of the blue sky aspect of it. We also have, with high pressure, more in the way of some dust particles. It's a more stable air mass. And so that gives us more in the way of red skies during our sunset. So that's why we can assume that since everything comes from west to east, high pressure, which is more stable and is quiet weather, has a higher concentration of dust particles, will be on the way for us for the day tomorrow, let's say, for example. So good weather on the way when our skies are looking red to the west at sunset. Now, at sunrise, though, we again have kind of the same situation. The sunshine is going through a thicker portion of the atmosphere. There's high pressure that it's going through. But the problem could be explained by the fact that high pressure would be to the east of us, and that to the west of us, there could potentially be maybe some rain showers on the way. And that's why we take warning with that, because that means that more unsettled weather could be on the way.
Get up to a
Okay, we're back here with you. Let's switch you back over so you can hang out here with me, talk to me here as we go go to break for Weathering the Storm. So another half of the show there. Wasn't that cool? Some of those graphics that Jack made, we've all heard of these different weather lore tales and things like that. You know, red sky, all that good stuff. So it's kind of cool for Jack to explain that. Jacob there talking about the hail damage. Man, all of that hail that we had, just unbelievable, you know, what that hail can do. And I believe that was actually just, you know, golf ball size hail. A lot of it were golf ball size hail reports when that storm came through. Imagine if we had like what they get out in Oklahoma sometimes, like softball size hail. That's just amazing. Okay, so we're halfway through the show. We've still got more. Hey, if you stick around, see the weather radios, okay? We actually talk about how you can win these right here, okay? Midland, Noaa Weather Radio Sweepstakes, okay? At the end of the show, we'll explain how you can enter to win. We're going to be giving away, I believe, 4 of these. We've got 4 weather radios we're giving away, and it's amazing as we've teamed up with Midland, official partner with them, to get these things out. Once things start opening up a little bit more and we can go out and all that, we're going to start doing programming events. We're going to program the weather radios for you. If you have a weather radio at home, we'll program it and you know, get it going, exactly what counties you want, things like that. So we're happy to be a partner with them, and we're going to talk about, again, how you can win a weather radio. All you got to do is stick around through the end of the show as we explain how to go about doing that. So again, thanks to everybody tuning in here, sticking around here during the live stream. We're going to get back to the show here in probably 30 seconds or less. As soon as I see the little thing pop up, we'll get you back over there to the show. Those of you watching on WCIA.com, our weather app, news app, Facebook, Twitter, we're all over the place here streaming this. Okay, back to the show.
Severe weather tends to be stressful for many of us. However, sometimes we forget how severe weather affects our pets. Animals are known for sensing severe weather moving in, and some animals can become fearful just like humans. You can tell if an animal is anxious by looking for certain behavior patterns.
Dogs actually sense storms before we know that they're coming, so sometimes if there's a storm brewing, you'll notice your dog is a little bit more anxious, maybe they're panting more, a little bit more vocal. A lot of dogs will get more clingy too and want to stay right next to you.
We can see their agitation in those that are agitated by it sometimes. Usually that manifests in barking, sometimes it can be pacing, being a little bit more destructive than usual.
If you know ahead of time that your animal does get scared during severe weather, one thing you can do, head to your local pet store, grab any of the following supplies such as a thunder shirt for both your dog and your cat, or even pheromone spray to help prevent them from getting scared when severe weather strikes.
It's kind of like a big hug. You know, it wraps them up and it compresses a little bit without being uncomfortable. It makes them feel secure. It gives them a little extra level of comfort. It's like you're there hugging them.
They kind of swaddle your dog, similar to swaddling a baby, or like if you put a weighted blanket on, it can be helpful with anxiety.
For dogs, it can be in a collar, or it can be a spray that we put on their blankets or their toys. It is just something that is supposed to relax them.
If the thunder shirt or pheromone spray doesn't work, local veterinarians say there are always other options to consider.
So we do have Composure Treats. We carry them in clinic, but you can find them at your local pet stores as well. They can just help provide a little bit of calming for both dogs and cats. Sometimes that's not quite enough, and we'll actually prescribe medication. So trazodone is one of the more common ones that you would give maybe an hour before the storm starts, and that can really help calm them down.
For more information, you can head to our website at WCIA.com.
Much of the focus on severe weather safety is often spent on tornadoes, hail, and damaging winds. Those are all things you can see. But the #1 most extreme weather killer? It's extreme heat.
Make no mistake, a heat injury can be fatal, and so it has to be taken seriously.
Dr. Michael Smith, a staff physician in the emergency department at Kirby Medical Center in Monticello, treats patients for heat exhaustion and heat stroke every year.
Extreme heat is very dangerous for us human beings because past a certain point in absolute temperature and relative humidity, we lose our ability to accommodate to the environment.
Heat emergencies have 3 stages to watch for: heat cramps, heat exhaustion, and heat stroke. Heat cramps are the first sign of heat emergencies and can be reversed with basic first aid. However, heat exhaustion and heat stroke are increasingly dangerous.
Heat exhaustion is feeling signs and symptoms of illness after being exposed to heat for a prolonged period. Heat stroke is the immediate life-threatening emergency, so somebody becomes delirious, confused, in extreme cases unconscious. Certainly those cases of altered mental status is an immediate call 911 and get that person to an emergency facility for care.
When temperatures soar, avoid strenuous activities. Wear light clothing. Watch for heat cramps and heat exhaustion. Look for heat stroke signs. Never leave people or pets in a closed vehicle. And check on family members, neighbors, and those more susceptible to the heat.
Okay, back here with you guys. As we, oh, sorry, hold on here, and we'll be back with you in just a second. Let's try that. There we go. All right, back here with you guys. Wow, heat, the real deal there. You know, we don't talk about heat a lot because it doesn't get, you know, all the attention, but that's definitely something. Of course, the pet dangers, danger, you know, with the pets there, that's a real thing. I know my dog, he hates the thunder, and we've got him a thunder shirt as well. So he definitely likes that. Okay, so coming up here, we've got the severe weather outlook. Okay, so explaining what we think is going to happen during the upcoming severe weather season, which really ramps up here. Sometimes we get it in April, as we showed you earlier with the tornado climatology, but May is the month. May is when we get the most severe weather and when you really need to be on guard and kind of preparing and getting things ready to rock. So we're going to talk about what we think with the patterns that are going on with you know, El Nino and La Nina and how that plays a role and how sometimes in the past what that has meant. We're going to be explaining all about that coming up here as we get into the last little bit of the show. So definitely stay tuned for that. And how to win the Noaa Weather Radios, how you can win. We'll explain that. Actually, you know what? Those of you that are still watching with us right now, I'll just go ahead and tell you. You can go to WCIA.com, click on the contest tab. So those of you that are tuned into the stream here, you get a little extra reward. WCIA.com, up there at the top, contest, scroll down, you'll see the Midland Weather Radio Sweepstakes, and you can get on there and possibly win. Okay, back to the show.
When severe weather threatens, make sure you have at least 2 ways to get severe weather alerts. Whether it's through WCIA on TV, live streaming on our WCIA digital platforms, using your mobile device, relying on outdoor warning sirens, or using your Noaa Weather Radio, ensuring you have at least 2 ways to get weather alerts helps keep you and your family safe. One relatively new feature available to most mobile devices is Wireless Emergency Alerts, or WIA. If you have a WIA-enabled smartphone, you get weather alerts for tornado warnings and tornado emergencies, flash flood emergencies, extreme wind warnings, blizzard warnings, and ice storm warnings. Coming new in July of this year, severe thunderstorm warnings that meet a specific criterion or tag will also be sent through wireless emergency alerts. Let's find out more about the 3 different categories for severe thunderstorm warnings and which one will be sent to your phones via wireless emergency alerts. A severe thunderstorm is defined as a storm capable of at least 60-mile-per-hour winds or quarter-sized hail. We get storms like that all of the time. The current system allows for us to issue those warnings when we see that as a possibility. The new system, though, coming this summer, puts it in 3 different categories. Our first category for 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-sized hail is the base, no tag. When we have storms like this roll through our neighborhood here, you'll have limbs come down, maybe some minor damage to outbuildings. Your lawn furniture and trash cans will blow away and cause some minor issues as far as it goes. They're still dangerous storms, but the new system allows for categories to become more severe the higher we go. That's why our second category here, the considerable tag, severe thunderstorm warning for considerable, that is, 70-mile-per-hour winds and golf ball-sized hail. We start to see more hail damage to cars from storms like this. Those storms can really cause some problems even with the winds. Notice the trees start to blow down here. Some power lines can become damaged, causing outages for a few hours in your neighborhoods. These storms are more severe, but they're not the worst type we can get. The highest level reserved now for destructive tag here. And that's for severe thunderstorm warnings with 80-mile-per-hour winds and baseball-sized hail. Look at what that can do if that storm comes through your neighborhood. Some significant damage. We have trees coming down, widespread power line infrastructure damage. Semis can even roll in these types of storms, leaving your neighborhood an absolute mess after the storm passes on through. To learn more about the severe thunderstorm warnings and the 3 tags that we have for them now, plus wireless emergency alerts, and if your phone has them enabled, You can do so by visiting our website, WCIA.com.
Besides some notable severe weather events in the southeastern U.S., it's actually been a fairly quiet March and April in regards to severe weather. But what does the rest of the spring look like? As always, there is no real way that we can exactly forecast what's going to happen, but what we can do is look at the big picture trends to give us a clue as to what things could look like. And there's no better trend to look at than ENSO, or El Niño Southern Oscillation. ENSO is the cycle of warmer than normal or cooler than normal sea surface temperatures in the eastern and central portions of the equatorial Pacific caused by a reversal of the winds. We've been in a La Niña since October, and we just got through a La Niña winter when the waters in the Pacific are cooler than normal. And that trend of La Niña looks to continue to this day.
The reason that that has an impact on our climate, even remotely here in the Midwest, is because the Pacific is one of the largest sources of and sinks of energy, because it's a giant body of water, and so it affects the flow of the jet stream.
With a La Niña like we have, especially when it lasts into the spring, this pushes the jet stream further to the north while also causing it to become more amplified on average. In El Niño, on the other hand, that jet stream is what we call zonal, and that's a straighter and it's actually more of a quiet pattern compared to La Niña. So we don't expect as much in the way of big-time severe weather events during an El Niño pattern.
When it comes to severe weather, pretty much throughout from the southeast U.S., from the Gulf Coast all the way up to the central Midwest, including most of the state of Illinois, we tend to see a little bit more active severe weather season during La Niña, which is the phase we're in now.
In conclusion, due to La Niña, the overall picture is that this could be a more active severe weather season than normal, but we have to wait to see how more localized events play into the trend. Hopefully, this continues to be a calm year for us across the state. Dr. Ford, though, does give us some good news in regards to fatalities.
We've gone 3 consecutive years in Illinois without having a tornado-related fatality. I would say I'd credit that to meteorologists such as yourselves, providing good warnings, good awareness from National Weather Service offices, that sort of thing. The last time we went 4 consecutive years without a tornado-related fatality in Illinois was back in the mid-90s.
Hey, thanks so much for tuning in to Weathering the Storm. We really hope that you picked up something from the show.
But if you missed any part of the show, you can head to our website at WCIA.com to watch the whole show in its entirety.
And as always, follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, as well as download the WCIA3 Weather app.
If you'd like to win a Noaa Weather Radio, you can go to our website, WCIA.com, to enter to win our Midland Weather Radio Sweepstakes.
We hope you stay safe during this upcoming severe weather season. As always, keep an eye to the sky. Keep it locked right here on WCIA. Have a great night.
This has been Weathering the Storm, brought to you by Muhammad Ace Hardware and Hood's Ace Hardware in Gibson City.
All right, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Our severe weather special, Weathering the Storm. Again, so that contest here actually goes live right at 7 p.m. WCIA.com/contest and find the Weather Radio Sweepstakes there. You can go on there and register to win a weather radio. I hope you all enjoyed the show, as I mentioned there at the end of the show. It was fun to do. Got a lot of great information out there, and hopefully maybe something you picked up from the show could help you here going forward. We're going to have more online at WCIA.com. You can go even watch back some of the individual stories as well. Much more, of course, we're always here to keep you guys up to date on severe weather. There's actually even a special story that Jack did that is on the web only, web only extra, that talks about the tools that we use here behind the scenes. The storm tracker and kind of what goes into that, the live streaming, all the stuff we have here that helps keep you guys up to date on things and what we use to track all of the severe weather. So again, it has been a pleasure to bring to you Weathering the Storm. Appreciate all the help with, of course, Jack Gerfin, Jacob Dickey, Amelia Henderson, who helped put the show together. And if you guys have any questions, I've got, thank you, appreciate it there, Cindy. If you have any comments or anything, Cindy, very informative. You are quite welcome. Tiffany, thank you for that comment as well. Tiffany, this is amazing, great job. Thank you so much. We appreciate you guys tuning in here and watching the Severe Weather Show. Of course, May, as I mentioned, we're going to start to ramp things up here. And next week could be our first kind of round where we may have to kind of watch things carefully. Next Wednesday, I'll just give you a heads up right now, next Wednesday, we may have some severe weather. So putting to use some of the things we've talked about here tonight. But that's going to be kind of wrapping things up here again. Go on, get your weather radio, possibly win the weather radio there at WCIA.com. I believe we're giving away 4 of these, and I think it's in 2 weeks. We'll allow people to go in and register to win for the next 2 weeks. Here's another great job. Appreciate all of you and your passion for weather and safety. Anastasia, thank you very much. That is quite the name that you have there as well. Great stuff. Thank you for tuning in, Anastasia. Definitely appreciate all of you out there for being those loyal fans and always sticking with us here through all of the weather that we get. If anybody has any final questions, I'll just wait another 30 seconds or so here. If not, we'll be signing off. And again, you can go on to WCIA.com and actually watch the full show in its entirety on there as well. We've got the whole thing up there, so we encourage you to go check that out online if you missed any of the show as well. Cynthia, thank you. Awesome program. Very good. Cynthia in Monticello, thank you for jumping on and saying hello to us here as well. Okay, guys, I think that's going to wrap it up here for me, for all of us here at WCIA. Have a great night, and we'll catch you guys next time.